Hi, welcome everyone to this presentation on the Indian Orthodox Church in the 21st century. Let's revise our history which we have learned earlier here. Review our previous videos which I have sent to you. Our church has an identity as an apostolic church with succession from Saint Thomas. So when the break in high priestly succession line from Saint Thomas happened very early in the history, our church got connected with other churches and has repaired it, and we have had high priestly connections. Most recent of this is the repair which happened in affiliation with the Syrian Patriarchate and the founding of a autocephalous Catholicate in Kerala is the most recent episode. The having a constitution for our church is one of the most wonderful things as an organized democratic body of Christians. The formation of the constitution happened in 1934. Mind you, it is even before India had a constitution of its own. It was all possible through the futuristic vision of the Malangara metropolitan of that time, Vatashiril Tirumeni. It actually reflects the desire for freedom in equal union with others or other similar Christian communities in the world that we took this step. The sense of identity in St. Thomas as founding father and the continuity of the ancient origins of the church is what motivated us to develop this constitution and develop our identity as an Indian church. It is also because we have a need for a strong existential structure which helps us to identify as a community witnessing for Christ. At present also there are a lot of legal struggles happening in our church. You may have heard of it, or you may have heard people criticizing our church for the legal struggles it is going through. I want you to understand that this beautiful constitution has been ratified by the Supreme Court of India for its validity, appreciated by the Supreme Court for its democratic quality, and the way it has integrated with apostolic traditions. It is an asset and a model of how to assert our independence as a community and be respectful of differences. It's a wonderful legal document for that matter. The legal and political fights that continue simply shows our fragility as humans in spite of having constructed such a beautiful constitution and have apostolic traditions also. As on today, the status of our church should be summarized like this. It's an autocephalous apostolic succession church and good administrative capabilities. The church is indigenous to India and legally acknowledged. It is liturgically connected to the Syrian church and the Syrian, Syrian model of worship. Faith in God as Trinity and redemption of humanity through Christ is the center of our faith. Acknowledging the brotherhood of all humans before God, the Father, in relationship with other Christian communities through the ecumenical movement. And the mission activities in our church are for the upliftment of the needy, sick, and the struggling people as in obedience to the commands of our Lord. Traditions inherited from the Jews and integrated locally as diaspora moves along is very characteristics of the Orthodox Church. Good majority of the Indian Orthodox Church members are out of Kerala and India as diaspora. Let's look at the diaspora in detail now. The diaspora of the Indian Church refers to a large group of people who share a cultural and regional origin in India but are living away from their traditional homeland. This includes members of the Kerala Church who have migrated to different parts of India and different parts of the world. You and me are part of this diaspora. Relevance of this history for the diaspora. To know our genetic traits is important for health, mental, physical and social. So for us as a community, it's important for us to know our roots. Our history and traditions have shaped our genes. So this will help us understand why we behave or why we do what we do. Our history, knowing our history is knowing ourselves deeply. We need to understand that. Knowledge of our history takes us to the story of human ancestry and understanding of universe. Modern discoveries and science have come through studies about the past knowledge and refinements on it continues. So only if we know history, we can make contributions for future. For meaningful interactions with others around you, you need to know your history and you need to know your identity. The other communities and religions among which you live. There are indigenous people belonging to the land. For those of you who live in Australia, the Australian indigenous communities and the diaspora from other cultures, the English, European, North Indian, all other cultures, people are living in Australia now. So they are all diaspora from different parts of the world. So you are living among them as another diaspora. So when you know your roots and identity, you will be able to appreciate the roots and identity of others. You will be able to learn about others and relate to them as creation of God, exactly like you. You will be able to integrate without loss of your identity with them. So thank you for listening. It's a brief discussion that we had. I know I've been little fast, but go back and listen to it if you want. And also connect it with the previous videos and learn it well. Thank you.